Hi, friends. I'm jumping on just a couple minutes early to make sure I am live on all platforms. I'm on YouTube tonight, Facebook, and TikTok. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free. I hope that we can stay within the topic. Let me give a shout out to my girl, Donna, tonight. She did my eyebrows today, so they are a little prominent because they are newly done, but definitely want to give her a shout out. War Paint Makeup. So if you're on the Gulf Coast, she's in Fairhope and awesome. So, Donna, if you are listening, say hi. All right, guys, so let's get started. So I wanted to talk about muscle is life tonight. I'm Dr. Cindy Ross, cancer specialist and founder of Life Wellness Forever. Again, I am live tonight on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, and I am thrilled that you are here with me tonight. So we're going to dive into one of my most favorite topics, why muscle is life. So we're talking about strength training, aging, chronic disease, and what I'm personally witnessing right now in both my clinical practice and with people that I love so deeply. So, if you're over 35, this live is especially for you. And if you're over 50, it's critical. But no matter your age, again, I started lifting weights at age 11. Big shout out to my friend Jim Dunnigan, who taught me how to weight train at John Graham's martial arts studio back on Dawes Road when I was 11 years old. Was playing tennis, and he thought it was really important that I learned how to lift weights. So I am forever grateful for that gift. So, what we're going to talk about tonight will help you preserve your health, your independence, and possibly even your life. Again, remember, if you have any questions, feel free. I will try to get them. I'm moderating all of my platforms, so if I miss them, feel free to email me, Cindy at drcindyross.com, if I happen to miss your question. Always happy to answer them. So I want this to be super interactive. So please, at any time, feel free to drop me a line. You're never a bother. That's what I always tell my patients. So let's start with the truth. Muscle is not just about looking good or being toned. I would say that probably most of my adult life, I've worked out for aesthetics. And I would say recently I have gained a whole new perspective on weightlifting. There's been times in my life maybe I had a burnout and I wasn't weightlifting as much. It wasn't my number one priority. I would always say like cardio was my priority. Women, I know you're out there, D. I know that your people as well. They are more prone to do cardio. So I've definitely gone through periods of that in my life where cardio was more precedent over weight training, but just recently I have this whole new perspective on weightlifting and I know how critical it is. So, weightlifting muscle, it's a metabolic organ. It plays a major role in blood sugar regulation, hormone production, immune response, and even brain health. And as we age, we naturally start to lose muscle unless we actively work to maintain and build it. The condition is called sarcopenia. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's one of the silent causes of weakness, falls, fractures, loss of independence, and yes, even death. There's a story that my husband always says to people when we moved to the beach. He was working out, and it was an older population when we first moved to the beach. This was like 2014, and we're working out at the rec center. Back then, it was a really small rec center, so quarters were pretty close, and there was a guy that approached him, and he said, something like, young guy, when I was your age, it was all about working out for, what the girls liked. And he said, now I just work out so I can get off the toilet by myself. And that's really the truth. I mean, it really is that simple. As we get older, if we don't have muscle, we're going to lose our independence. And we don't want that. No one wants that. Muscle mass is directly tied to your mental clarity, mood stability, and resilience against chronic illness. In my practice, I've watched patients who prioritize strength training rebound a lot faster, they tolerate treatments better, and feel more like themselves again. I can tell you this, after I got through that really terrible flare back in January, February, I really wasn't able to move too much. I mean, I could barely navigate my stairs. So weightlifting was on the back burner, but I make it a priority every single day now. And I really enjoy it. I'm back really loving the gym. I went back to the huge Orange Beach Rec Center. I've been working out like in my own personal gym over the past 2 years. And of course, everything was limited. But if you live in or around Orange Beach, we are very blessed to have this beautiful 17,000 square foot facility that has all the equipment, and I'm really enjoying being back there. I'm there probably most days, 6 7 days a week, and I've been diving back in. Again, when you have everything taken away and you're not able to work out, it gives you a whole new greater respect for weight training and the ability to even just be able to move. So I'll tell you a story. One of my cancer patients was wasting away from treatment. I mean, they were going through the chemo treatment and their bodies just literally lost their muscle mass. We focused on protein, creatine, and body weight resistant, and within 6 weeks, their energy shifted. Muscle truly became their medicine. So, if that is something that you're struggling with, if you have a cancer diagnosis or if you're battling a chronic illness and you are noticing some atrophy in your muscle tone, you definitely got to change your diet up. You got to add more protein, you got to add some resistance training. And again, as we're aging, we are losing muscle elasticity. So it's something that you got to really work on. So let me be very, very clear. Muscle is protective against the big C. That means cancer. I'm very restricted on TikTok when it comes to mentioning the word cancer, but the big C. It's also very protective against diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, and that's something that I battle with. I had a full hysterectomy when I was 22, and literally everything, ovaries, cervix, gone. And I have bounced between osteopenia and osteoporosis my entire life, like over the past 25 years. I'm 47 now, and I would say the last time I had a bone scan, I had actually increased my bone density, so I was back up to osteopenia. But I really work on keeping my bones nice and strong now. Muscle helps detoxification, it reduces inflammation, and it stabilizes your metabolism. I can definitely tell now that I'm back working out, I'm probably in the best shape of my life right now. Between rucking and weight training, uh, I can tell, like my appetite. I would say any carb cravings that I was having, it's definitely curbed that. And my body just really craves protein. So my diet is very much, I would say it's more fats and proteins. I don't do any grains or carbs. Um, Thank you guys on TikTok. I'm hearing if you can hear that. I appreciate that. I'm getting roses over here. So yeah, I would focus on a higher protein diet, higher fat, and that way that you are retaining muscle. And you're going to focus less on your carbohydrates, especially as we're aging, because we don't want to be feeding insulin resistance. So, if you are concerned about brittle bones or joint pain, muscle is your best friend. It holds your frame in place, it distributes the load, it prevents injury, it gives you balance, strength, and stamina. Remember, as we age, we're more prone to falls, and we don't want to be frail, we don't want to break hips, we don't want to break bones. And even for me, I mean, I've broken bones, and having rheumatoid arthritis, if I break a bone, that arthritis is going to set in that joint and it's going to deteriorate it. Again, like my wrist, I broke it when I was in my 20s, and the joint is, I mean, the joint had to be replaced by a couple plates. So we just don't want our bones to be brittle. We want them to be strong. So definitely the more you strength train, you're protecting those bones. And no, you don't have to become a bodybuilder. A lot of the women are like, I don't want to bulk up. We don't have enough testosterone in our bodies unless you're injecting it to put on muscle. And yes, I have gone in the bodybuilding career for a couple of years, and I did add some crazy amount of muscle, but naturally we don't have enough testosterone to build the muscle. So you're not going to bulk. You're just going to have muscle, which is going to protect your bones. And we're talking 2 to 4 days a week of smart, consistent resistance training plus daily movement like walking or rucking. I know whenever I got, or when I was fighting through my flare, I'd started back on just spinning and just getting that movement going, and that was great. But since I've dropped the body fat and I'm really working on retaining muscle, I have gone just to walks and rucking, which has made a huge difference. That way I'm not wasting muscle. And yes, rucking, I'm pretty obsessed with it. I love what it has done for my physique, and I feel great doing it, and I feel stronger. So, if you're asking what rucking is, it's walking with weight, like a backpack. And I actually use a Go Ruck vest because I feel like it's more evenly distributed, and I don't want to hurt my back. So, just by putting a back, my husband's like, "Why are you wasting money on buying a Go Ruck?" Because we have backpacks and you can just throw weight in. And I get that. And maybe if that works for you, my good friend Stevie, she just puts on a backpack, and that's great. But I'm really careful with my back for longevity, and I don't want to have something distributed wrong and I throw it off. And especially when I'm walking my King Corso dog, like this morning when he goes after a heron. Um, so I bought the Go Ruck for that reason, because it's evenly distributed on my back. It feels good. I don't even know that it's there. Besides that, I've gone up to 20 pounds. I feel the weight for sure, but it's not uncomfortable on my back. And I feel like a backpack would not fit as well, and it would be moving around a little bit more. So um, I will make sure that I put the link for my Go Ruck, because everybody asks what kind of pack that I have. I love it. And so with any type of rucking, it builds bone density, leg strength, core engagement, and it burns more calories than regular walking without damaging your joints. I tend to stick to the sand because I want to stay nice and soft on my joints, but it's completely up to you. As long as you have good shoes, and I would say change out your shoes, go get fitted for shoes. My friends over either at Fleet Feet in Mobile, they have one in Pensacola. I also go to Good Feet in Mobile. Just go get fitted. Make sure that you have orthotics in and you have good shoes on that are supporting you if you are hitting the pavement every single day. Also, people ask me all the time, do I wear shoes when I'm walking on the sand? Yes, I do wear shoes. I also have the fingers, the 5 fingers, I think they're called. Um, I just bought them, haven't used them yet, but I was just kind of thinking about protecting my feet during the hot months on the sand because my feet tend to blister. But when I'm rucking, I like the support, especially with my knees coming off that injury from my dog. So if you are out on the beach, and if you're prone to any knee injuries or instability with like your ligaments, any meniscus issues, ACL issues, I would highly recommend wearing good running shoes, tennis shoes, sneakers, whatever you call them, on the beach. Okay. So I would love for you to let me know in the comments. Do you currently do any strength training? I would love to know why you're not doing any strength training. Like, what do you feel is holding you back? I get a lot of women say that they're intimidated by going to the gym. Hire a trainer. Hire a trainer or get a friend that has some experience in the gym. Learn your way around the gym. Guys, there's so much information online as well. Just go on to Chat GPT and like type in like what your goals are, looking for a workout for whatever reason. Put in your ailments, and Chat GPT will give you a great workout. But I would hire a trainer or get with a friend that has experience in a gym and just take a couple of days and familiarize yourself with the equipment. And I promise you, no one's staring at you. A lot of the women feel like everybody's staring at them. They're not. They're not staring at you. Um, I would not even worry about that. That would be the least of my concerns. More importantly, just learn how to use the equipment right so you don't injure yourself or get hurt. And Yes, hiring a trainer was the best thing I ever did for myself. I agree. And yes, my experience is personal training. I used to own Bodies by Cindy in Mobile. So, if I'm around the gym and you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. But familiarize yourself with the equipment and just get in there. Don't be intimidated. I promise you, it's going to be the best decision you ever made. I say this, learning how to lift weights at 11 years old was one of the best gifts that I was ever given, and I didn't even realize it until my 40s at what an advantage I've had through the years. So, women especially need to hear this. If you're in menopause or you're postmenopausal, you are losing estrogen, and that means your bones, your metabolism, and your muscles are all at risk. Weight training helps preserve muscle, it regulates your insulin, supports thyroid function, and balances mood during hormonal transitions. So, I mean, I can tell you, after going through the hysterectomy when I was 22, and I've been on HRT on and off over the past, I don't know, 15 years. I'm back on right now. So HRT, hormone replacement therapy, testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, whatever you want to call it. I am taking it, and I can tell you, like, my body feels better. When I was going through that flare, I was like, okay, I need all the tools, right? Like, I need everything going in my direction. So I have a peptide stack that I'm doing. I do BPC 157, TB 500. I'm taking testosterone. What else am I doing? I'm doing low dose naltrexone at night for sleep, and I'm taking rapamycin, and of course all of my supplements. But I feel amazing. My testosterone levels are up. I'm able to hold muscle, which I was having a hard time doing that before. And I just feel amazing. So if you are looking for hormone balance, oh, and not just that, I have an amazing sex drive. I mean, let's all talk about it. We're adults here. So, sex drive is something that, especially as women, we start lacking in late 30s, early 40s. And so we want that, right? Like, everybody wants a good, healthy sex drive. So, um, if you are needing hormone balancing, reach out to me because I have so many connections. I'm loving Premier Hormones over in Orange Beach. My good friend, Dr. Z in Mobile, you guys know him. He has a concierge practice. He does hormone balancing as well. I do hormone balancing, but I do everything natural. So I can support you on that side, and happy to refer you over to anyone that needs, the injections or pellets or whatever your choice is. But, men and women, there's no reason why we need to be lacking in energy, sex drive, muscle tone. This day and age, everybody's talking about it. So we don't want low T levels. So for men, low testosterone can lead to muscle loss, fatigue, depression, and belly fat. I was getting my eyebrows done today over in Fairhope, and there was a guy that walked in. He wanted to know what my friend Donna was doing, what the whole tattooing of the eyebrows was all about. And we got on the subject about his testosterone levels, and I was just telling him, a guy with low testosterone levels, it also can lead to chronic illness. It opens you up to cancer. I mean, like a whole slew of things. So guys, do not have low testosterone levels. Also, if you're not resistant training right now, you need to start resistance training because it's one of the best ways to naturally boost your T levels. All right, I'm just checking my messages, making sure that no one's asking me any questions and I'm missing them. Okay, so no matter your gender, muscle is protective. It's not a luxury, it's essential. So, I would love to know this question too. What age, or I want to know from you, what age should you start lifting weights, and what if you've never done it before? So, this was a question that was asked to me this week. So, I started at 11. I didn't start very heavy then. I just started learning like the basics of how the equipment works and the correct form. Wasn't lifting very heavy because you got to be careful not to stunt the growth. So, I would say, I think most gyms with a parent is about 13 years old. So maybe 16 on your own. Somebody chime in if I'm wrong on this. I don't know what Orange Beach is if you're around this area. I want to say you can go in. I just saw a young girl with her mom and her sister last week, and I want to say she was probably about 12 or 13. It's a perfect age because that way you're teaching them the healthy habits. You're not going to have eating disorders. You're not going to be overweight. I mean, there's a whole slew of reasons why that's a great age to start. And I would say learn the correct form, hire a trainer again. And also, if you're into, if your child is in sports, what better way to support them in the sports to prevent injuries than resistance training? So they need to learn that. And I don't know how prevalent it is in like PE classes now because I know that a lot of PE classes got cut through the years. But I know when I was in school, we lifted weights during PE. If you were one of those, tell me in the comments because I would love to hear that you guys lifted as well in PE classes. I loved it. I know that the guys used to have like competitions back in the day, bench pressing. So I want to take a moment to share something personal. So one of my dearest friends is currently in the hospital. I know a lot of you have been seeing my post about that. And I've been watching him fight and it has shifted everything for me. And this is where my new respect for weightlifting and muscle tone really has come to my forefront. I've watched his body struggle, his muscles are deteriorating, and it's amazing to me how quickly the body can waste away when it doesn't have the reserves to fight. And he had a surgery back in February, March, and he was so strong going into it. And then there's been some complications, and it's just, if you don't have that muscle reserve, your body has really zero ability to be able to fight back. So you got to make sure that the muscle is there. That way, whatever comes your way, you can fight it. So it's been breaking me, and it's also lit me on fire about my own health and about me sharing his story with my patients, my friends, of why I train, why I lift, why I'm rucking, because muscle is what gives us the strength to heal, to recover, and to keep living. I literally have been saying muscle is life. It really is life. Without muscle, we're not going to be able to fight whatever comes our way, and you're going to be given so many obstacles with age. So you better be ready to fight, or else your quality of life is not going to be there. My cancer patients tell me, I wish I had built the strength before I got sick. Let this be your moment right here. Don't wait for the diagnosis to take your health seriously. When I'm given a speech, I always say, don't wait until you're in the hospital bed before you decide to make a change, because you don't want to be chasing the 8 ball. You want to be ahead of it, right? You want to be ahead of it. You want to be fighting. You want to be proactive. You want to be preventative. Here's another question. What if you have arthritis or chronic pain? Is lifting still safe? Yes. With proper guidance, strength training actually improves joint function. I would say start small, work with a professional if needed, but do not sit it out. Don't sit on the sidelines. I know since I've started back weight training, my ligaments, my tendons, everything is stronger. My range of motion has gotten better, and that was something that had really suffered when I got into my flare. And I will say this, when I got injured back in September, October by my dog, which led to the worst flare of my life at the beginning of this year, I wasn't lifting weights. I was doing a lot of hiking and I was doing a lot of walking, but I really wasn't lifting too much. And I think that really hurt me because when my meniscus got torn, it was two small tears, not enough for surgery, but it was enough to absolutely put me on the sidelines for a while. And then systemically, it led to an overall flare, right? So I would say that if I'd have been training in the gym, I'd have been stronger. I would have probably sustained that injury without tearing the meniscus. So, lesson learned. So, if you're new to strength training, here's where to begin. Body weight moves, squats, push ups, planks, especially if you're traveling, those are always great. Buy yourself a set of dumbbells. You can do shoulder press, rows, lunges, resistance bands. I travel with these. Great for beginners, great for your hotel room, easy to pack. Walking, rucking, add weight gradually. I started with 10 pounds. I bought a 10-pound plate and a 20-pound plate so I could have a combo of 30. Haven't gone to 30 yet, just got up to 20 pounds, so we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking about maybe sliding in. They don't make a 5-pound plate. Go Ruck, you need a 5-pound plate. So I'm thinking about just putting in a 5-pound small round plate that I have in my gym in there just to get that in between before going up to the 30 pounds, but start gradually. And then on recovery, make sure that your protein is priority, hydration, and rest. Okay. And even on my rest days, I'm still active. I call them active rest days. There's usually not a day, especially with me feeling good and having that injury for so long and I couldn't move. There's not many days you're going to find me where I don't do something. So I'm usually always walking. So active rest days are always great. So don't forget your nutrition. Your muscles need protein, they need minerals, and they need movement. Creatine, I've been talking a lot about. I've partnered up with a company called Peak Revival, and they have a great creatine. My husband's been taking creatine as well. These supplements can be game changers, okay? And I'll put the link into the show notes as well. If you have any questions on those, reach out to me. So I want to challenge you tonight. I want you to pick 2 days a week. Commit to moving your body with purpose. And if you're ready to take control, I'm here to help you. All right, so I invite any last minute questions as you guys have before I get into the Q&As that were sent to me this week. So if you do have any questions, please just reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them. Also, I want to mention a couple of things before we get into the Q&A. I have a lot of ebooks now on my website that I've been publishing. There's also a free guide on there as well. And then I now have an online platform. It's the Wellness Warriors community. It's awesome. We have a online chat. I do all of my research studies. I publish all that on there. I'm giving out meal plans constantly, protocols, all types of different protocols, book ideas. Started a book club on there as well. We're reading Young Forever by Dr. Mark Hyman. What else is on there? And just a live chat in between the peers on there, which is great. So definitely hop on there. It's like $14.99 a month and a 3-day free trial, so you can check it out, see if it's a fit for you. All right, so let's get into the questions. Why is muscle so important as we age? After 30, we naturally start losing muscle mass, actually up to 5 to 8% per decade. Muscle protects our bones, stabilizes hormones, improves insulin sensitivity, which is something that you start having resistance to as we get older, and you start holding more belly fat, which we want to prevent because that leads you open to chronic illness such as cancer, okay? So we want to reduce the risk of chronic disease such as diabetes, osteoporosis, and cancer. 2, can I still build muscle in my 50s, 60s, and 70s? Absolutely yes. It's never too late. And studies show people in their 70s and 80s still build muscle with resistance training. The key is consistency and progression. What's the best kind of strength training to start with? Start with body weight exercises like squats, wall push-ups, and planks. I love planks. I know that like when I'm personal training clients, they hate planks, but planks are really awesome. Overall body strength, they are great for it. Add resistance bands or light dumbbells when you're ready. Keep it simple. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Movement is medicine. How often should I lift weights? I would aim for 2 to 4 sessions per week of resistance training. Combine that with daily walking or rucking for optimal results. Again, if you got weight to lose, I would, the way that I started, when I started my new journey this year, after my flare or during my my flare. I was doing 30 minutes of cardio, either rowing or spinning, so it wasn't any impact on my joints. And I followed it up with weight training. And I was doing upper body one day, lower body one day, like Monday, upper body, Wednesday, lower body, and then Fridays would be total body. Well, when I finally started getting my weight down and I lost the body fat and I got the inflammation down from my flare, I switched that up and I started walking and rucking. That way it wasn't muscle wasting. And I broke down my weight training days. So now I'm like, Mondays are chest day, Tuesdays are leg day. I kind of hit something for legs every single day because as we age, ladies, keeping the butt lifted is priority, right? And it just seems like gravity loves to take it down and it's a constant battle. It's driving me crazy. So it's like the more lean we get, the saggier our bottoms get. So I'm doing something for my legs pretty much every single day. Kickbacks or squats, something. But I break it down now. My days, I'm lifting pretty much 5 to 6 days a week. And I might repeat leg day or I might repeat shoulder day. I'm pretty fixated on my shoulders right now. So shoulders and legs are pretty they're like my top priority. So that's what I would do though. Starting out, I would do 2 to 4 sessions per week if you're looking to lose some weight and gain muscle and make sure you're not burning out with too much working out. So that way you're able to get some cardio in as well. All right, what is rucking and why do I recommend it? Rucking is walking with a weighted backpack or vest. It boosts cardiovascular health, builds leg and core strength, and increases calorie burn without stressing your joints. I can tell you when I'm walking, just walking without a without rucking, my heart rate's probably 90 to 110. When I'm rucking, it's up to like 125 to 140. So it definitely increases that calorie burn because my heart rate's getting up higher. And I'm thinking about, let me know if you're interested because I have so many people reaching out about wanting to ruck with me. I do it most mornings with Eddie, my Corso, on the beach. I'm out there before sunrise in the morning. So if you are an early bird and you would like to maybe start a group, I am more than happy to lead that and we can get out there and we can rock together in the mornings and watch a beautiful sunrise, maybe even do a little meditation. So you just let me know if you're interested. Next question, will lifting weights make me bulky? All right, I talked about this earlier, especially for my women. No. Women don't have enough testosterone to get bulky naturally. Lifting weights tones, strengthens, and shapes your body while supporting hormone balance and metabolism. What supplements do I recommend to support muscle building and recovery? Like I said before, I just partnered with a company called Peak Revival, so I use their creatine. I also take a couple forms of magnesium. I do high quality protein. I don't do protein powders anymore. I do like the brand Naked. It's called Naked. But I was using their pea protein. My husband uses the pea protein. I was having a little bit of stomach issues with it. It was making me gassy and bloated, and it was probably just being more vegetable based at the time because that's when I was in more vegan. So I switched away from it. I'm trying to get all my protein through Whole Foods. So I'm doing hormone free, no antibiotics, chicken, fish, eggs. That's where I'm getting my protein sources. And of course, getting in essential amino acids as well. And then make sure that you're doing an anti inflammatory support like sulforaphane. I eat my weight in broccoli. So, and I'm doing the stems and the crowns. And then if you hate eating your greens, remember I've been talking about just supplementing with sulforaphane. And again, Peak Revival has that supplement as well. You can find it on all my videos and find the link in there. Next question, what if I have joint pain or arthritis? Can I still strength train? Absolutely. If you have to wear like braces on your hands, do that. I've been there, done that. I have all the splints. whatever helps you to get movement. And then as you start building strength and you start building up those tendons and ligaments, your range of motion gets better and you won't need them. Just remember to start slow, focus on proper form, and use resistant bands or machines to stay safe. You don't have to do free weights. That is a complete preference. Okay. I like free weights, but I can tell you back in January, February, when I was eaten up with inflammation, there's no way I could have done free weights. So I was doing more machines. Next question. Why do cancer patients or chronically ill people lose muscle so fast? It's called muscle wasting or cachexia. It's inflammation, treatment, stress, and poor nutrition breaks down muscle faster than it can be rebuilt. That's why building muscle before illness is so critical. What role does protein play in maintaining muscle? Protein provides the amino acids that your body needs to repair and grow muscle. I would aim for about 1 gram per pound of body weight daily, especially if you're active or you're healing. Something else too, especially for my cancer patients, or if you've had recent surgery, or if you're going to have surgery, make sure your albumin levels are up. Okay, so you need that protein. Albumin is a type of protein, and without that being elevated, you're not going to heal fast. So you need to work on getting your protein intake. When my father was alive and he had his legs amputated from diabetes, we really worked on getting his albumin levels up. And my dad's diet was terrible as far as protein intake. And that was something that we really worked on. So we incorporated a lot of protein shakes just to get those albumin levels up. Okay. All right. So can walking or yoga build muscle? Walking and yoga are amazing, but they don't stimulate muscle growth the way resistance training does. Remember, I told you last year I really wasn't doing a whole lot of resistance training. I was doing a lot of walking and yoga. So when I got injured, those tendons and ligaments weren't as strong as what they needed to be. And that injury led to a systemic flare with my RA. So if you have a chronic illness, especially like rheumatoid arthritis, you need to be strength training to make sure your tendons and ligaments are nice and strong. Is cardio or weight training more important? Both matter, but muscle should be the foundation. Cardio supports your heart, but muscle supports your whole entire system. Strong people live longer and they live better. Remember, it's the quality of your life. It's not about how many years in your life, because without quality, what does it matter, right? We want quality life. What's the biggest mistake people make when trying to build muscle? Not eating enough protein or lifting heavy enough to challenge their muscles. You need to push just past your comfort zone to grow stronger. So I would say, like, a lot of people ask me how many reps. Well, probably last year I was doing higher reps, 15, 20 reps. I wasn't challenging myself and I wasn't building the muscle. So now I focus on between 8 and 12 reps, and I do anywhere between 3 and 5 sets. How long does it take to see results from strength training? You'll feel it in about 2 to 4 weeks and seeing physical changes in about 6 to 8. Somebody just asked me today, they're like, Donna, I was getting my eyebrows tatted. She's like, you've lost so much body fat since the boat show, which was, I guess, back in March here in Orange Beach. And I have, just because I've been strength training so much heavier. I've lost a lot of body fat, and I can tell a difference in my muscle tone, and that's just been a little under 8 weeks. So you just start it, and before you know it, you'll start seeing the difference. And then that'll motivate you to do more. All right, last question, unless you guys have one. I feel too tired to work out. Where do I start? Because I know a lot of us, right, at the end of the day, I always get my workout in first thing in the morning. I'm up at 4 in the morning. I go ruck on the beach, and then I hit the gym after. So it's whatever, it's wherever you can fit it in. But I can tell you at the end of the day, you're usually going to be pulled by life and you're going to be tired. So getting the motivation to go work out and lift heavy at the end of your workday, whew, kudos to you if you do that. Or if you can try to grab it during your lunch break, that would be great. That way you're not exhausted. And I mean, I don't know. I just always feel like if I don't get it done first thing in the morning, I'm just chasing it throughout the day. And a lot of times it's rushed or it just doesn't even happen. So I know a lot of you jumped on TikTok, and I so appreciate you guys on TikTok and Facebook tonight and YouTube. I appreciate all the platforms. I also recorded it, so it will be on there in case you missed it. If you have any questions and you were too shy to ask, feel free to email me, Cindy at drcindyross.com. You can find me on all social media, and I look forward to seeing you guys here next week. If you have something you want me to chat about or have any questions, reach out to me. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.